Notify the hospital and pull Miss Spencer's file. We need to double check all medications she's been given in the last...
You to get you to stop trying to punish my daughter, and that's all.
Well, I still can't believe that you're even talking. I mean, just seems like a dream to me. You don't know how many times I bargained with the devil to get you to come back. And when you finally did, Luke didn't even have the decency to tell me that.
And you want to make him pay. You know, you spent your entire life trying to make Luke pay. And me too, apparently.
No, I
Yes,
didn't.
then how do you explain what you've done?
Laura, when you were 17 and you were on probation for killing David Hamilton.
That was an accident.
I know that was an accident, but there was another accident that happened to you. Rick, your stepfather, was having an affair with a nurse at the hospital. You walked in on him, and she was very mad at him, and she was yelling at him, and she was hitting him. And you tried to protect Rick. And you accidentally killed that woman.
Wait a minute. I don't know, that it's all so vague.
Yeah, well, that's because Rick stuck a needle in your arm. He tried to sedate you to help you forget. And then he forced me to take that body, dig a hole, and bury it. And I knew that you being on probation for David Hamilton, if this came out, you would go to prison. Laura, I loved you way too much for that to ever happen.
Thank you. I really believe that you were trying to protect me when I was 17 years old. I do. But I don't understand why you would let me think that I was the one who killed Rick.
Lucky. Mom's awake. Scott Baldwin took her.
Laura, you didn't know this, but Rick, he turned out to be a very, very bad guy. He blackmailed me over the woman's body that we buried. The night before you were going to get married, he called me up and he said, meet him in the attic. He said there was a problem. I got over there and he had a syringe in his hand and he was coming after you. He was trying to sedate you against your will. You were fighting with him desperately. I just picked up the first thing that I could get my hands on and I hit him. And then I heard Luke coming up the stairs, and I figured it was best to take off. You didn't need to see us at each other's throats there.
So you ran away?
No, I had to run away.
You left me hysterical, and I was there with Rick's body.
I I didn't know that Rick was dead. I couldn't have predicted that. Luke, he came in and he found you clutching the candlestick that I'd hit Rick with. He assumed that you had killed him. So he dragged you off, thought he could just rescue you.
I do remember the fight. And I remember him coming at me with a syringe. And Luke did tell me that I was the one who killed Rick. I believed him. I always believe him. But then the guilt kicked in, and it was like falling into a pit.
I'm sorry about that, Laura. I would never have done anything to hurt you. I've loved you my entire life. I just assumed that you were going to marry Luke the next day. And then when you didn't show up at the church, and then Rick's body showed up.
Why didn't you come forward then?
I didn't know what Luke had planned. I didn't want to make things worse.
How much worse could it have gotten, Scotty?
Laura, if I'd gone to the authorities, all that stuff would have come out when you were 17, and the other murder, and all of that mess would have happened. And, you know, I just figured that you and Luke had just went off into the sunset, left me holding the bag.
Do you really think I'd do that to you?
I think Luke would have. In a second. He has spent his entire life vilifying me, making me out to be the bad guy. He has erased everything in your mind that was ever good about us, Laura. You've forgotten how much we were in love with each other when we were kids, and we didn't have a dime, but we were happy together. I went to the institution to try and talk to you after, you had the breakdown there. But I couldn't get through to you. You were too far gone.
So you just never said anything?
I'm not proud about that. It just happened.
And I suppose now you would like me to forgive you. Right? I can do that. And where is your forgiveness for my daughter?
How did you get out of Shady Brook?
I broke out. I had to. It's Mom. I'm sorry. I obviously interrupted something important, but I just need to talk to my brother.
Listen, I need to sort this out with my sister.
Okay. But this conversation's not over.
What was this about, Mom?
Okay, so Mom really was awake. I did not imagine it. She woke up again today, just a little while ago, and I'm not the only one who saw it this time.
Oh, this doctor you said that
No,
stopped
Scott
before.
Baldwin. I was in Mom's room. He came in. He started threatening me, vowing to see me get the death penalty.
You
for
mean Scott
killing
Baldwin
Logan.
is trying to blame you for
It's
killing
true, Lucky. Everything that I said on the witness stand, it's true. The axe and the knife and everything.
Listen, I'm gonna call Lane.
No, Lucky, I am not the one who needs help. Listen to me. Scott was saying he wanted to see me get the death penalty. He wanted to see me get a lethal injection, and Mom woke up. She grabbed him and she told him to back the hell off of me.
You're sure this is not what
Stop
you wanted?
acting like I'm imagining it. Just look at me, please. I know this is hard to believe. I honestly, I thought I was this crazy for a while, but it's a little far-fetched. Just believe me, it's true.
If Mom woke up, why didn't you tell somebody at the hospital? Why didn't you go get help?
Scott took her. That's why I had to break out and come here to get your help. Look, if you call Shady Brook, they'll tell you she's gone. Please, Scott Baldwin took her. She's in trouble. She needs our help. You have to believe me. Scott Baldwin has Mom.
So you killed my stepfather, and then you ran out and you left me, and that trauma caused me to lose my mind and to lose years of my life, years that I should have been raising my children. That's gone now. I can never, ever get that back. And yet, You know, I really can believe that your intentions were good and that somehow you were in a horrible situation and you got confused and you made some bad choices. And you were a grown man. Now imagine a little girl in the same situation, completely overwhelmed. The Scotty that I knew would have compassion for that girl.
What about the son that I just found out that I had after all these years? Laura, I lost you to a guy that had no respect for you or what you wanted. Now I'm just supposed to add Logan to the list and that's it? Finished?
So this is just about us then, isn't it? You are punishing my daughter because you're bitter. You're bitter that I chose Luke over you.
I'll call you, okay?
Okay.
Sorry. What's up?
Okay, I'll give you the short version. You just have to go with me on this. Mom really was awake before. I was not in my head, and I went to go see her again today, and Scott Baldwin came in. He was saying the most awful things.
Yeah, he threatened to prosecute her for killing Logan. I'm sorry, Lucky. I found out on my own. I should have told you. No, it's not important.
Mom woke up again, okay? And she agreed to go with Scott Baldwin somewhere as long as he wouldn't press charges against me.
I checked with Shady Buck. Mom's gone. Well, where did he take?
I don't know. It took me so long to break out and get to you guys. They could be anywhere by now.
Yeah, I was angry at you. And I was bitter. But I got past that. I met a girl. I fell in love. I had a kid. But then she died. After I buried her, I was able to put things in perspective. I saw that you were young, and you know, you fell for Luke's one-man show and all of his adventures, and how much you've had to pay for it, how he's hurt you in ways that you don't even know about.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't want to talk about Luke right now, you know. I don't want to talk about any of the bad things that he did to you. We gotta move forward here, Laura, and you know, you gotta be happy, and let's talk about stuff, because, you know, for you to move on here, have some fun. It's important.
It's not gonna work.
Well, how do you know? Besides, you know, you made a deal with me.
You haven't even told me where you're taking me yet.
What do you think?
Oh my God. Are we over LA?
Perfect spot. That's where we had our honeymoon. We're better to capture our past.
You dragged me onto a plane with no gas.
I got you home, didn't I?
We could have crashed into a mountain.
But we didn't. We landed in a nice soft cornfield.
You could have killed us.
It was a big rush, not knowing if you were going to live or die, wasn't it?
I don't like adventure.
You take to it like a duck to water.
All right, enough. We need to concentrate on Lulu.
Well, that's what you keep saying.
At least you don't look like you dragged yourself off a barroom floor, which you did.
With your able assistance.
Mr. and Mrs. Spencer, I assure you we are doing everything in our power to find her.
What happened to my daughter?
Actually, I was referring to Laura Spencer. It seems she disappeared from her room last night.
How can Laura disappear? She can't walk, she can't talk.
Well, you know, Lulu had that delusion that she woke up. Maybe she moved her to another room.
Well, I have to talk to my daughter.
Unfortunately, she's not here either. Lulu appropriated a clinic van and left the premises without authorization not long after her mother went missing.
What kind of a funny farm are you running here?
Maybe the two of them are together.
She's with her brother, Nicholas Cassadine. He called several times last night while we were searching for Laura. He seemed convinced that Lulu was telling the truth, although, since she is technically still a patient, Lulu's story should be viewed with some skepticism.
What story?
Your daughter insists that Laura was completely responsive, walking and speaking.
Oh, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Figured we got enough stuff to new clothes and stuff to last us for a little bit.
You can see Grauman's Chinese from here.
Kramer versus Kramer. That's what was playing on our honeymoon.
Seems like 100 years ago, doesn't it? We were just a couple of kids on a honeymoon.
I told you back then I'd buy you a yacht, furs, diamonds.
Well, we both had a lot of dreams and plans that just didn't work out.
Well, maybe they just got delayed. You know, maybe we can still recapture those dreams and those plans, you know. Stir up the feelings that we had for each other, that you had for me.
That's going to be pretty tough, given that I woke up to you threatening my daughter.
How can Laura disappear? She can't walk or talk.
She left with Scott Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Lulu insists that Laura left with Mr. Baldwin. No one on staff saw them, but the sign-in sheet shows Mr. Baldwin was visiting Shady Brook at the time.
This is your idea of security?
We're doing the best we can.
Well, the best is not good enough. It's unacceptable, in fact. If anything happens to my stepdaughter or her mother, you can rest assured you will be slapped with a lawsuit so large it will throw you immediately into Chapter 11.
Mrs. Spencer, this is a very big institution. There are a lot lot of patients who
I don't care how...
Please, berating the poor man will get us nowhere.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer.
Maybe we should call Nicholas.
No, we're going to L.A.
Why would we go there?
Because that's where the snake took Laura.
And you're basing this on what exactly?
I know how his brain works. That's where they went on their honeymoon.
I lost my son, Laura.
So you thought it was okay to take my daughter?
Logan, he was really in love with Lulu.
Love doesn't excuse everything, Scotty.
Well, I'm sticking to my deal. I'm not going to prosecute Lulu.
As long as I cooperate.
I said you would.
And you told me you were going to try to make me fall in love with you again. I wonder if Logan said that to Lulu.
Hey, let's just keep it about us. You know, when we were here the first time and we were walking down Hollywood Boulevard and we were looking at all the stars, and remember we couldn't figure out who half of them were even were? Well, I say we go back down there, and if we can't figure out this time, then we come back and we get on a computer. Figure it out.
You sure I won't run away?
You said you wouldn't.
Well, you're right, I won't. Because I probably can't outrun you yet.
Same old Laura.
Same old Scotty. You can't let go. And look, here we are again.
Yeah, well, I want you to have fun now.
And nice clothes and a nostalgic trip they're great, but it's not going to win me back. I did love you once, but that was a very long time ago, and I've grown up and I've moved on. And you need to do the same.